Hello everyone, this is your favorite Murted, live once again. And today we have a very interesting topic. And for those of you who have watched Act 17 Apologetics, you guys are in for a surprise. You guys are definitely in for a surprise. And for those who have still not watched Act 17 Apologetics videos on this topic, after watching this, you guys are definitely in for another surprise. But anyhow, today I have a friend, a veteran who has served in Afghanistan, who is a US national, who was in US Army, who has served in Afghanistan. And we will look into what the Afghan people think of the US intervening into Afghanistan, and what do they think of Taliban. So we are going to see two different point of views, and we are going to go into detail of certain things. Any Muslim who's listening, who wants to reject something, they are more than welcome to reject with the evidence. Do not give me your story. Give me the evidence from the Sunnah, from the Quran, from the fiqh, from the Sharia. I'm giving you all four options. I'm not stopping any of these options from Quran, from Sunnah, from fiqh, from Sharia. Okay, so now let's welcome our brother Emmanuel Shahid, who is a veteran and has served in Afghanistan. Brother, how are you?
God bless you, brother. By the way, I served in the U.S. Navy, not
Oh,
the Army.
sorry, my bad. U.S. Navy. Yes, they are the same for me. Army or Navy, they are all
No, but we're
going in.
better. I'm kidding. Yes, we're all
Yeah,
one together. That's right.
you are going into the zone where the enemy are willing to kill you. So that's the thing. Are you there with me, brother?
Say that again. I thought you were saying to somebody else, or
No, no. I was telling you that you are going in, whether you are Navy, you are Army, you are Air Force, whatever. You are going into the location where people
yeah,
are willing to kill you.
yeah. Pretty much
And
anyone. Me personally, I didn't trust a lot of the people out there. There were a few, but a lot of it you couldn't tell because of course, for me being as a former Muslim, you can pick on or just through the Holy Spirit, that discernment, you could tell that they have other deceptive ways, and I was talking this morning, just a heartfelt. I was trying to. I didn't know if maybe a lot of the veterans heard my message. Usually in my veterans group, we don't try to maybe try to talk about a lot of the politics or stuff like that. But I just thought just to give them an awareness because this is shocking for everybody, especially for just like that. All of a sudden, for 20 years, that out of nowhere, like where did the Taliban's came from? Just out of nowhere. Um, with the politics aside, even for many of us, as soldiers or sailors, depending of your rank structure, there's even a lot of things that we might not know everything, but the higher ups will know about it. And is a reason why they keep it like that. So just not too much news gets spread out. They just have to be secured. Um, when I joined in, of course I was there because when the tower fell, I was there when the tower fell. That was my motivation to serve. And at the time, of course, I was still a Muslim. Maybe I could show my patriotism and show them the ways that Islam is not a violent religion. But as I dived in more, I knew everything that what I was taught is not what it says to be. And and even with what I was everything that I seen, it was still troubling for me, and that's why I think it's so important that even many, if the Muslims are watching, when your instinct hits you, when you see those words from the violent side, you see there's a lot of issues and problems, and there's a reason why we see the Islamic world it is today because of all based in the Quran that they need to follow. And I knew that, like in the back of my head, I said, I know they got to do some taqiyya. I don't know how that's going to work out. Some days as the years went by with the war, especially with politics and everything, it's like they try to sugarcoat everything for us to do our job, to take out the Taliban and stuff. They're expecting us to go with the rules of engagement until they shoot you first. But it's a whole different warfare now, bro. It's not like the days of the Geneva Convention
Mhm.
where the laws were signed where you have to fight against one uniform against another uniform. It's not like that anymore, especially within the Islamic world where everything is based on lies and deceit, taqiyya. They even use their own people um, as shield. And of course, they want to blame the Americans for everything that we're the bad guys.
Yeah,
I'll tell you
so
what. Oh, go ahead. Go
before
ahead.
you move forward on this point, before you just said the pivotal statement, I want to show you an interview for what you just said.
Okay.
They are taking Americans as their enemies. Please state your last statement again.
Takia.
No, no, no. The last statement that how they take you guys
Oh, how they take us?
as the military people from the US or
Oh,
as a Navy
a
people
lot
from
of
you.
it, yeah, I'll tell you, yeah, they look at us as occupiers. I'm sure maybe the poor ones, they think that, oh, they try to take our religion away. But there are some of them, it's just a few percentage that they don't want a lot of these Sharia laws. Just based on even before going to the war, I already grew up around with a lot of Afghan people. I mean, even some of my friends that I went to school with, they became interpreters for the military, for the intelligence. I know
Guys,
about,
guys, interpreter for the military. Remember this word, please, brother.
okay, because I know two of my friends that I went to school with are, I think they're still, maybe they still are interpreters. Well, until now that everybody's out, you know, they were interpreters for the military. But I knew a few Afghanis that I grew up with. I met some former Taliban's too, where I grew up at. Some really didn't change. Some used the takia to come here because I know a lot of them were even big time drug dealers. Now remember that keyword, the opium. Why the opiums are there? They all play a role in it. I grew up around seeing the CIAs and FBI coming through my neighborhood. I used to see one of these Afghanis go into the CIA's. Come like, man, what is going on? I was only like what 13 or 14 years old at the time, and so we didn't understand what was going on. But
But
all of a
brother,
sudden,
I'm
yes.
sorry because you are going 20 different locations in one sentence. I'm
Oh,
sorry to cut you
sorry.
short, but like I have a few questions.
Yeah,
Question
go
number
ahead.
one, because a lot of people will be thinking of that as well. You were in Navy.
Yeah.
Did you had first-hand encounter? Did you landed there? Did you use a Humvee to go somewhere inside the land? Because you were in Navy. Navy means you will be on the ship.
On
Is
the
that
ship, yeah. Now, at the time, they needed more people for volunteers. I went there as a special assignment so I could help out with our Army brothers. We all have our different jobs, what we needed to do. Our job was as a provincial reconstruction team. We were focused in Farah, Afghanistan, um, where we try to help the community out there. Um, if they needed, any water, just like to help the community, help them to get on their feet. A
so?
lot, a
You
lot of our
did
leaders,
went in there. You had the first-hand
yeah.
experience. Wow, wow, wow. So, so you, wow, okay. So, what were your feeling over there? That most of the people were with you or against you?
For the most part, it's hard to tell. It was like half and half. Just seemed like a lot of them were happy we were there. Some of them look like the local, especially a lot of the children. You see a lot of the girls too, especially they're happy about it. That they felt that level of protection. That's something they will not get from the Taliban. I mean, think about it. The
Hmm.
new generation of young girls that grew up. Think about it, we were there for 20 years. These people
Hmm.
that when I was there, they're a child. They're probably an adult now. Could you imagine the fear that they're going through right now? I mean, it was a lot hard to. There's lots of we couldn't trust also, too, especially with some of the attacks we used to get in the base. Um, because you got people that we could bring access to. They have to have special badges where they feel like they're trustworthy, where they have access coming in. But you see all these mortar attacks. And people just wonder like where all this is coming from. And I'm pretty sure people are they see what goes on. That they usually see, but a lot of them don't have no idea what the ideology teaches. All they think about is just the Taliban's. We need to get the Taliban's. But
Interesting.
many of the
Interesting.
soldiers I used to talk to, I said, there's more to it. Just know everything what they do is based on their ideology. So there's no such thing as a moderate Muslim with them. Either you're gonna do it or not. That's why it's such a hard warfare now. They're using their own people as shield. They've done that a lot too, and that they want to blame the Americans for like we're at fault. We had our moments too. Maybe we did some mistakes. The stress of war could put a stress on a lot of things on everybody. Hard to trust any of these people that we're training with. I know some of these soldiers, some were lazy. Some of these people that we trained, they even used it and ambushed some of our soldiers. Those were in the news. And where do you think they get that from? We know what the Quran says. Don't be friends with the Christian and Jews unless you use it for your own benefit. And that's what they're doing. And then when the media keeps saying, that's why I was so angry. I'm looking at it like I saw this coming. You know why all these Talibans are out there? Because they were already there. A lot of them were already undercover, and that yet our government want to be so blind, especially many of the far left, that we got to be treaty good shoes. We don't want to hurt the civilians. War is not fun as always. Sometimes you got to take the enemy out. I'm always been all for the whatever it takes to take them all out. You know,
Brother, let me show you a video now, and I'm gonna play the first part of it. Guys, I will going to play a lot of this video, but see, and I'm gonna use the Ibn Fuban. Why I am going to use Ibn Fuban? Because he's in the West and he's proclaiming some very nice Muslim. So look at what he says and look at what Taliban says, and then make your own judgment. So let me just play this first section.
Well, what's interesting to me is a lot of Orientalists. You know what Orientalist is? And it's not a racist word here. An Orientalist is a kafir who studies Islam to try to cause issues. And some of the, mashallah, ai have taken them as shuyukh now, interestingly.
wait, what?
When you
He's actually bashing Yasser Qadi. Listen, you'll enjoy. Wait.
study with a sheikh, with a alim, with a zahid, with a person of knowledge, it increases your yaqeen. What does it bring? Ithbat, itqan. What does it do? Huh? What does it do? Like 100 people here, nobody speaks. What does it do? It strengthens your deen. You become sure. When you study with a kafir, what does it do? It brings shak and shubuhat. And then you wonder why Yale brought you shak and shubuhat.
I didn't care about supporting any side in the war. We civilians just want to study, educate our children, earn a living. And then the American and government soldiers came and showed their barbarity. They spread terror and sadness here under the pretense of fighting the Taliban.
You mean there were airstrikes?
Yes, airstrikes, and also they came into our house. They kicked the front door open and destroyed all our furniture. They were so cruel. They killed our children in their sleep. I lost 5 members of my family. All were children or students. At least the Taliban were born here. We know all of them. They live in our homes, our villages, our communities. And from them, we've never suffered any injustice.
According to an independent watchdog, Afghan forces supported by the US Army are responsible for up to 1/3 of civilian victims of the conflict. This fuels a feeling of resentment and lends support to the Taliban's rhetoric that they are the defenders of the Afghan people against brutal foreign invaders and a dysfunctional state.
Oh, please. What
Okay.
pathological lie that is.
So now here is the thing, brother. You just heard this guy. US forces comes in, destroys. Taliban lives here, support us. They are good people. We are talking about the rural area of Afghanistan, not the major cities. There are major cities are usually in these third world countries are usually comprised of 10%. For example, if I take Pakistan as well, like 10% of the land is occupied by major countries like Lahore, Karachi, Islamabad, Quetta. Maybe you can add Gujranwala in it, Hyderabad, and then Multan, and then you can add maybe so like I just named maybe eight. Add a couple of more. The major cities have education, they have um Western influence. They would not want Sharia. They would want a mellowed down Islamic rule, which is not Sharia and not Western culture, but a mixture of both. But as soon as you go into the rural area, you will see the same sentiment even in Pakistan.
Yeah.
Now, you can you endorse what this guy said?
Can I endure?
Endorse, like, can you agree to what this guy said? Is this the usual sentiment of the people in the rural area?
There's a lot of our like about. See, the thing where it's misleading is we rely on the intelligence that we would get our sources. That's the reason why we hire a lot of these intelligence to give us what we need where they are. There's protocols too. If there's an enemy there, they gotta kick in and do what they have to do to search, you know.
Is this
Not
me or your internet is pretty bad? Guys, can you hear Emmanuel Shahid perfectly? Or is it just
see my
me?
mic.
Let me see. If you guys can hear Emmanuel Shahid perfectly, just give me one. Just give me one if you can hear Emmanuel perfectly and it's just me. All right, let's see what the people says. If they say one, then they can
Okay,
all hear you
they hear me.
perfectly. Okay, they
Testing,
can hear you
testing, one,
perfectly.
two,
All
three.
right, please carry on. Probably it's on my side. Please carry on, brother.
All right. You know, there's a lot of intelligence that we have to deal with. You know, I gotta be careful what I say also too. You know, that it just doesn't. But you know, a lot of us had different. You know what we deal with. We were also in the small village areas too. The village where I was at in Farah, that's in southwest Afghanistan, mostly all desert out there, not too far from the Iranian border. Um, it was pretty bad out there when when with the people that we turned over, it was pretty bad at the time. I think a little bit mellowed down with all the intelligence, getting all the Taliban's out of there. You know, you got some of the villagers that we helped. You know, it's like somewhere you could tell they, like I said, they were somewhere happy. You know, a lot of time we focus around. You know, you got our leaders just talk to their leaders. You know, with the elders out there, whatever they have to do to take care of the community. So we all had different functions. You know, not everything that the all the people were out there was all about just going out and kill. Is to rebuild the nations, you know, to get the Taliban's out of there. Even if they take control, what's going to happen? They're still going to suffer their own people. You know, my biggest concern right now is all the young girls out there. It's got to be almost like a similar situation what's going on in Pakistan against the minorities. And our president's made a big deal of it too. You know, we even had there's been even local Afghanis that came to the Lord, hang around as many of the interpreters, you know, just learning our way, learning their culture, their history, you know. You know, there were some good moments, you know, you would get to know their history, you know, what they've been through, you know. They dealt a lot with the Russians, you know, just all even in the past, you know. But one thing for sure that they have to understand, you know, and I know there's a lot of them, they may be illiterate too in the ideology or they know about it. Many, they just keep it basic, you know, just to take care of the family. They could keep a minimal Islamic way. But the moment you bring Sharia, many Afghani people know there's always conflict, you know. Remember Afghanistan at one point when they had their root like a Shah, they lived pretty well. There even women dressed almost like Western. And then the moment you had the Islamic Revolution from Iran, did the same thing in Afghanistan. Everything just went downhill from there. And that's where people are picking up the pattern to the point even the Afghans were trying to leave. My God, to the point they're clinging onto the aircraft just to get away from them. because they know what the real Sharia is. It's sad. Many of the West, maybe like myself, naive, thinking that maybe it'll be good. But the more I've dived in, I said, "Oh heck no, I do not want to live under that type of way." I mean, just by my experience when they sent me to Bangladesh when I was a kid, that's a lot enough what I need to know. And yet, Bangladesh is not even a Sharia-based law country yet, but still, you got a lot of these fundamentals out there. That you got these ignorant people out there, how they look towards non-Muslims. But with Afghanistan, you call it Taliban, Al Qaeda, they just want everything under Islam. And these people know what they want to control their women, to be an authority. They just want everything to be Islamicized. Their whole goal, just Islamicize as far as they can. Afghanistan just became the battleground for all terrorists to come through because there's just all open borders. They have no government, which even angers me more. All of a sudden, the president right away, these people that we train, trust me, it's flaring up against a lot of American people, our politicians, because of political correctness.
Now that you mentioned political correctness, but does the local people, let me play something more.
Okay, go ahead.
Hold on. Let's
But what's
see.
interesting to
Let's
me
see.
is a
And showed their
Let me go to that particular point. Sorry guys, I missed it because I went out of the stream to fix my issue. Now check this out guys. This is another guy who's talking.
The Taliban have ruled that expired food was forbidden. If they find expired food in my shop, they give me a fine. I think it's better to live in Taliban territory. In government-controlled areas, you can't travel after nightfall or stay open late. It's too dangerous. Here, my shop is open till 8 p.m., and I'm not the least bit worried. As for women, they can come into my shop even if they're not accompanied by a man. They just have to wear a burqa, and the Taliban won't stop them.
In the 2 days we spent in Omar Khail, we never saw a single woman in the market.
Okay, so now this is a guy who runs a shop. He's saying, I feel much safer when there is Taliban in power as compared to not secular, as compared to a Muslim government.
That's a darn lie. I don't remember seeing a car like that. Maybe there are out there like that. I mean, I can't speak on behalf of the rest of the provinces. Remember, a lot of us that went out there, we all got separate. We were focusing in one unit of area. My area was in Farah in Afghanistan. I was there for the first 3-4 months, and the remaining month I became the liaison for my commanding officer. I was in Kandahar. Of course, in the bigger base out there, and of course we always hear a lot of these attacks out there too. Even though it's a big city, but still, there's still a lot of Taliban stronghold out there in Kandahar. With the constant mortar attacks coming into our compound. And I think at one point we one of the Taliban was trying to come into the base, and I was everything strapped up and ready too, just to shoot them if they came by. And but one of our NATO forces from the Czech, the Czechoslovakian, they were like the guard out there. They took them out. Took about 5-10, I think between 5 to 7 Talibans. They took them out. And but yeah, these are all there. Why? Because they're doing intelligence work. We know they're playing double agent also too. And that's why I did the best I could on my part, just within my local unit, share my point of view coming from my background, just to be watchful of. Don't let that notion that it's just a certain people, or just that the what's the word that you see many like to use, the terrorist side Muslim but not the moderate. There's none of that. This is all they know. That they go by the Quran. That's their way of life. They look at you as an enemy. They think in their mind you're a Christian. But if they really know what America is, America is really a secular nation, because our value is based on the Judeo-Christian principle, because of the freedom we have, the way that we can dialogue and talk. But unfortunately, yeah, it's sad at the same time. Yeah, there's a lot of non-believers in our nation.
Brother, hold on. Now you're going to another topic. That's a separate thing.
Okay.
So hold on. You just mentioned certain things. You said Christians.
Yeah.
They think that you guys are Christian, but Christians, according to Muslim, are not on Tawheed. They are people who worship three gods, according to Islam,
Yeah.
not according to
Mhm.
Christianity, according to Islam.
Of
Now
course,
check
Islam.
what Ibn Fuban is saying in response to what you are saying.
Okay.
The way of the Muslim is not worried about political alliances. We are worried about establishing the haqq of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on the ard.
Before, we couldn't drive our stock out of the city. The road was too dangerous. We had to make detours. Now everything is calm. When the Taliban arrived, they encouraged us to go to the mosque. They sent letters signed by a religious scholar which said that we were to tell them if our neighbors or friends didn't go and pray at the mosque. And then they'd go and pay them a visit.
Do you see what pay them a visit means if you don't go for prayer?
Oh, they'll
I
get
hope
you. You try to make it sound like it's calm. Yeah, they'll know when they're gone. Oh yeah, you didn't pray. I'm coming after you.
so. Now pay them a visit, number one. Number two, he said that the roads are very secure
No, it's not.
and we can go in the night and all that. So just a little bit more. Let me play a little bit more.
From food legislation to the frequency of prayers, the Taliban are involved in all aspects of daily lives.
Okay, so Taliban is involved in all aspect of daily life, and I will show you further what kind of daily lives they are involved in. But the very basic thing is prayer. So if you do not go to the mosque for prayer, and the woman can supposedly come out and visit a shop, but have to have a burqa, which means full veil, which means you can't even show your face,
Yeah.
and then you are safe. Yet the person who was filming all that, they saw no woman on the street, yet they are admiring Talibans.
It sounded like, based on his body language, it's almost like sounded like out of fear, you know. Because that's not the way how we saw things. A lot of them were even so. You see, there was a lot of them were happy about it. It's the local businesses. Um, with our presence, they're able to thrive a little bit. I mean, we even have people coming into our base. They just sell things, sell items, sell like some of their cultural goods inside the compound, um, and they see a bigger difference from there. Now, are there out there? I'm pretty sure they're out there. They're still sentimental to it, because it always goes back to the values of Islam. Though they see little things that has certain protection, but yet at the same time, just the way that it was taught by what Allah says, that they still have to be the enemies. You still have to be there to defend your Muslim brothers, and that's what we always have such a conflict always. Even the guys that we trained. Me personally, I thought it was a waste of money for a lot of them because I knew a lot of them were not gonna live up to it. Look how easily they just gave up like that. Either they just ran off or they just went back to their party with the Taliban, which I believe is what they did. I think the very same people that you see all of a sudden just got the number just grew. These are the same people I believe that we trained. They used it against us. They used the taqiyya, and now I'm still kind of angry about how we left a lot of our stuff out there. I'm not even sure if any of them can even know even how to use some of these equipment.
I will
But
going
that's
to
a
talk
different
about the
story.
equipment later. I will going to talk about the equipment later, but I will give you the time to talk about all that. But for the time being, now imagine you just heard this guy, and you just heard the prayer cause, and you just heard the burqa cause, which is actually what the Quran says in Surah An-Nisa, that the female have to cover themselves, and the tafsir actually says they have to cover themselves fully.
Hmm.
And Ibn Abbas actually removed one of his eye to see, and the rest of the portion, even the head and everything, was covered. And I've shown these tafsir in everything in my previous videos. You guys can go and watch. But check what Ibn Fuban is saying against it. Rather, against it or for it. Check this out.
Worry about Tawheed. Yani we worry about the fact that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the only one that has the haqq to be worshipped. We worry about eradicating. I mean,
Now, Eradicating. He was about to say
That's it.
eradicating everyone or eradicating everyone who worship non-Allah. Check this out. Very important. I'm gonna rewind it.
Tawheed. Yani we worry about the fact that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the only one that has the haqq to be worshipped. We worry about eradicating, I mean Muslims, like not everybody the title, but a Muslim, right? We worry about, we want shirk to finish in the world, right? But many
What a
Muslims, because
scumbag.
the weakness of Iman, they're not worried about shirk anymore. They see shirk, they're like, so what's wrong with that?
So, any Muslim who sees you, Emmanuel,
Mm-hmm.
and you as a Christian, according to Muslim, are performing shirk by worshipping Jesus, the many Muslims who are actually befriending you, according to Ibn Fuban, they are not the right Muslims. They are not the correct Muslims. And every Muslim should strive to eradicate shirk. That's what he said.
Yeah.
If anybody has a doubt, check again. Now I won't stop.
Yeah.
We worry about the fact that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the only one that has the haqq to be worshipped. We worry about eradicating, I mean Muslims, like not everybody the title, but a Muslim, right? We worry about, we want shirk to finish in the world, right? But many Muslims, because the weakness of Iman, they're not worried about shirk anymore. They see shirk, they're like, so what's wrong with that? It's okay. They see somebody, he's gay, so what? He's this, so what? What does that bother me? Where's my political alliance?
So, by the way, shirk and being gay is two different things. If you are a gay, you are not a mushrik. You are not performing any shirk. If you are a gay, you are in a sin. You
Yeah.
should be punished for the sin. That's not being mushrik, or that's not performing a shirk. See, he went from shirk to gayship because he wants to be politically correct, because he's sitting inside a mosque
Yeah.
in United States of America.
That's
So
right.
he had to change his tone and his verdict suddenly, and that's why I wrote the title. Like when the truth come out of his mouth, he just tried to flip it.
Yeah. And that's what they need to hear us out. I heard all the stuff in the mosque in the 80s in the United States. They express freely and said how they really feel. They're within the brethrens. Because of course I gotta be careful because not everybody is recording. Anybody can catch this message, but I think that's a good way for the FBI to see that. And I think they know they're watching. They know they're starting to get it now, seeing these little code words they say. Thankfully I'm hoping the all the agencies here outside the story, and I'm sure they do. They're watching right now. Everything that we talk about.
Exactly. And check this out now. This is what he said,
The way of the
and look
Muslim
what
is not
Taliban
worried about
says.
political alliances. We are worried about establishing the haqq of Allah subhanahu
Establishing the haqq of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now check what the Taliban are
wa
saying.
ta'ala on the ard.
The Sharia, the Islamic law, applies to all, from the layman to the most powerful leader. That's how we administer justice. As far as the Taliban emirate reaches, the lives and belongings of people are safe. We are at war. But in the village, you'll see that we've implemented many projects. We have schools, agricultural programs, cool storage for the fruits and vegetables. And when we won't have any reason to fight anymore, the war will end, and we will develop this country in every domain.
They're using deception again.
Okay, so now multiple things. You have seen what Ibn Fuban said?
Yeah.
He said everything, but he said it in a politically corrected way.
Yeah.
Because he's in United States. He's afraid of FBI. He's afraid of being thrown out of the country. He said it in a politically corrected way. Now, when the Taliban were speaking in Afghanistan, they don't have to be politically correct.
No.
They were blunt, they were straight. They were like, we have to eradicate, we have to apply the Sharia,
Yeah.
and we have to do exactly what the Sharia says, and we will fight until Sharia is established over everyone.
Yeah. But notice the too the way how he's telling the reporter. Though he said, "Yeah, we want to bring Sharia law," I'm pretty sure the reporter may not know what specific Sharia. Maybe she know not what due to the power of information. If they're only to know, okay, what will happen to the people that even right now we know there's a lot of underground churches right now in Afghanistan. So what will happen to their life? Will Sharia apply to them to have the freedom of choice if they decide not to follow and let God be the judge? But we know that's not going to happen. That's the part that a lot of they want to leave off. They're pulling off like how what's her name for the feminist movement, Linda Sarsour,
Oh, that's another. Uh,
another idiot. Oh, what's called
yeah.
the Sharia? That's all. They just throw the word without even explaining to it. Our people needs to wait. I think they're going to have to. You know, it's an uncomfortable thing, but they have to know a lot of these side of the truth. If you want to know your enemy, you need to know what their ideology belief is. They,
Exactly, brother. Exactly. Exactly. That's why what you are doing and what I am doing and what Steve Mashney is doing and many other
yeah,
are doing is very important because we are not politically correct. That is why we do not get a lot of benefits from these areas where we are publishing our videos.
yeah,
But at the same time, that is not our aim. Our aim is not to gain money out of this. Our
no,
aim is to give the education to our people who does not have this kind of education
yes,
so that they would know what is coming and they would be aware of it. The real intelligence is what we are providing, and that's what you have seen that even these Ibn Foban type people, Ibn Foban type imams, Ibn Foban type master's degree holders in the hadith sciences, they say things out, but they try to hide them and make it a rapper, sweet rapper. But when
yeah,
they will be in power, they will be like these Taliban who will proclaim it full stop without any distinction.
exactly. And brother, I just want to say, as much it's hard time right now. I know I've done reports even right now. I'm praying some of our young girls are okay. Believe me, that's my biggest fear. Some of our missionaries are out there; they're trapped still out there. But even through the midst of the storm, it does bring me good news. It brings joy to know that right now Afghanistan ranks number 2 right now of a lot of the coming to the truth. Our presence did make a big difference. That's what I want the people to know. And their mindset, all the media is portraying, they were a bunch of guys and guns and military just going out and shooting people. The military comprises of all kinds of things. People have different missions, what they're doing. My side of the mission was for the community to help people to do what they can for their community, for their city, for their local village. I enjoyed the time seeing the little children out there, having a good time, giving them little candies. And I'm trying to look for I'll share you some pictures too that I have from Afghanistan. You could share with your audience too. When I have over like thousands of pictures. Just those life. And I just thank God for me just showing these things too. When I see how the real Islam is, how they live. I've seen the stateside version. I think God called us up, all of us in our background. I believe I'm representing more for the Muslims in the West, people that are born and raised in the West. Yeah, we know what it's like. We know that nobody's bothering us, but it doesn't change the fact of what the ideology represents. If you see the way how our family was towards us, so there's always been a lot of problems, issues with some of the women in our family, what they've gone through, certain abuse, to the point you can't even talk about things or hang on certain things. That should question you about the type of freedom that you're having right now, or they try to suppress you while you're living in the West. But they're also fearful too, because the stuff that we bring, the questions we ask, that bother a lot of the imams because that's
Yeah,
all they know.
that's another problem. That's another problem. That takes us back to the first part of this video that I played, where Ibn Fuban is saying that you have to learn Islam not from Yale University or anywhere else. You have to learn it from the Zahid, from the Alim, so that he will actually make your deen more stronger for you and deceive you and not tell you the exact truth. But if you go to the university, they will actually destroy your deen because they will tell you the reality. In other words, that's what he said, right? But
That's
at
right.
the same time, when we look at the implementation of that deen, now check this out. Check the next part out. Check the next part.
The way of the Muslim is not worried about political alliances. We are worried about establishing the haqq of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on the ard.
Sound a little scratchy for a moment. Hello?
Now suddenly he moved out. Sorry, I was on mute.
Oh,
Suddenly he moved out from that point and he said that our way is to establish the haqq of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, means the truth of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala,
okay.
means the law of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So he suddenly, now he, within his one sermon, he is moving from places to places because that's how the guys do. Check this out.
Political alliances. We are worried about establishing the haqq of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on the ard.
The third man is accused of spending too much money on his son's engagement party, a punishable offense according to Taliban law.
What's your name?
My name is Haji Pashamir.
Do you know why you've been called to appear in front of the commission?
My son is a Taliban fighter, and I was celebrating his engagement.
Your son is a Taliban, not you.
Yes, but I was celebrating my son's engagement, and he's a Taliban.
Being a Taliban doesn't give him any additional rights. On the contrary, people like him or even myself should be punished even more severely than other people because the Taliban's mission is to do jihad for the love of Allah. So if instead they cause problems for other people or if they fail to prevent wrongdoing, then they should be punished very severely.
Yes, I agree with the witnesses. I don't deny that it ever happened. But originally, we'd only invited 6 people. Then the in-laws suggested that my son invite more people, more women. And my son agreed. I wasn't even there during the discussion, and now everything's on my shoulders. I know that we must abide by the law of the emirate. I love the emirate, and my son is a fighter of the emirate.
So what? Those 2 over there are fighters, and we've just disarmed them.
If it's proven that I've broken the law, I'm ready to be hanged rather than receive a lighter sentence.
You say that you're ready to accept any type of punishment?
Yes, I'm ready, but under one condition, that I'm not found guilty without proof.
Understood. We will continue our investigation.
The religious erudites and combatants of the emirate discussed this issue and concluded that people should spend less money. Because in Islam, according to Sharia, extravagance is a sin, and acts that go against Islam must be avoided.
So now, the problematic part over here is, brother, a guy invited more than 6 people to his son's wedding ceremony or whatever you may like to call it.
Yeah.
More than 6 people. That's extravaganza. That is going against Sharia. And this guy was called into the court of Sharia court. And he was about to be punished. But he said that my son invited him, not me. Why are you putting the blame on me when my son's in-laws actually asked him to get more people in and he invited in? So now you are spending extra money, and Islam does not allow to spend extra money on weddings. So hence he said that I am willing to take even the death penalty on this. I'm like,
That's a lot.
dude, please explain me this.
Man, the Sharia is so stupid and corrupt. Do you think half the Muslim even know most of the Sharia? No. Maybe some of the basic. Like, even for me, this is the first time hearing that. I never heard anybody tell me, oh, you can't invite that many people. You know, I didn't hear that with that situation growing up. Maybe because I'm in the West, you know, so I can't really defend that, you know. But that just shows the stupidity. And
No,
this is the only thing.
let me tell this guy. His
Okay.
name is Taumazu.
Tomago.
Taumazu. So Taumazu, let me tell you myself, my personal experience in Pakistan. When I got married, we had a law that you cannot allow more than 200 people in the wedding ceremony. More than 200
Wow.
people in the wedding ceremony. And if I will allow more than 200 people in the wedding ceremony, there was a fine of up to 400,000 Pakistani rupees plus 24 hours in the jail.
Oh my
So
God.
on the wedding ceremony, the groom will go to the jail if you invite more than 200 people. Plus, you can only serve one main dish. So if you are serving more than one main dish, same thing applies. Fine up to 400,000 rupees, not dollars, rupees, plus 24 hours in jail. So, dude, I am talking about Pakistan, not even Taliban. So, and now we go to Taliban, and they had issue with more than 6 people. So,
Man.
what is the difference? What is the difference? So, Pakistan has a Sharia where giving more than one dish was a problem, plus 200 people or more than 200 people had a problem. In Afghanistan, you have a problem when you have more than 6 people. So Sharia, the number of people and the dishes can change based on the basic low income or the average income of a human being.
Or the
Yet, if
population, you think?
exactly, but more so so you know, Sharia is Sharia.
Yeah.
You know, so you cannot do extravaganza. If you do extravaganza, you'll be fined and you'll be put to jail. Dude, what's the difference?
Can I
So
ask
so
you something? What is the purpose behind why they don't want more than 200? Is it because it becomes like a big party or something? Is that what they're trying to avoid?
yeah, they want to stop extravaganza because the poor people cannot do. So the poor people would want to do
Oh my
because the
God.
rich people are doing it. So the poor people would want to do it. So hence, neither rich nor poor will do. But when it comes to the ultra rich people, they will pay money to the bribe. Bribe
Yeah.
is very common in Pakistan. All these third world countries, bribe is very common. So you
Yeah.
would give like 200,000 rupees to the police and everyone, and they will stand outside your wedding ceremony to protect you and everyone, so that nobody could actually say anything to you because you have bribed them or you have some connection with the high end officials, and nothing will happen to you. But at the end of the day, I have witnessed Sharia first handedly,
Yeah.
right, in
You
Pakistan.
you seen it, brother.
So, dude, and Adrian Decca says, think I am the only idiot here. I don't know why he's saying it, but he has to give me the context.
Think I'm the only.
Yeah.
I'm just
uh,
reading the comments too.
I am Italian and Italian weddings are big. Okay, yes, so
Oh.
now that makes sense. Italian weddings are big. Buddy, Italian wedding, if you do it in Pakistan or in Afghanistan, you'll be in jail.
Hey, my ex-wife was Italian. We just got married at court.
Now, that would be a separate thing, I think.
Yeah. Oh
So,
man.
so imagine. So, but like, this is what people want. Most of the people, the poor people, want that. In Pakistan, let me tell you something. In Pakistan, you have no idea how many people liked it, appreciated it, they were on for it, and they wanted it, and they
Yeah.
were so happy with this Sharia law of not giving more than one dish to the people and not allowing more than 200 people. So they were so happy about it. So who says Sharia is bad? You say it. The people who are watching my video, they say it. The people who are living in these Islamic countries, if they are not from the major countries, the metropolitan cities, if they are
Mm-hmm.
not from the metropolitan cities, they like it. The people of the metropolitan city don't like it. The people who are rich, the people who are educated, the people
Yeah,
who
that's why.
have the western knowledge and western influence, they don't like it. But the majority, so what is the majority? Do you think the majority lives in the metropolitan? Yes, in fact they do. But once again, if you take if you take the metropolitan cities out, what is the total land in the metropolitan city? 10%, 15%, at max 20%.
Yeah.
So you have an 80% land filled with people who like ISIS. They want ISI.
Yeah.
Sorry, not ISIS. My bad. Taliban's.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. They want Taliban's. They want Sharia in Pakistan. They want Sharia in Pakistan. They want Sharia in Afghanistan. They want Sharia to be ruled. Why is America sending innocent soul to go over there and protect only 20%. I'm giving you the max.
Yeah, you're right.
20% of the people and letting their own people killed in saving them.
And that's the issue. That's the part they're naive at. You think you're gonna bring democracy to a Muslim country? I said, good luck with that. The ideology is so strong to the point the fear of God is written in the Quran that you trying to doubt, you take any side of them, that's you. You ain't going into heaven, or you'll get punished by that. So they understand all that. I knew that, even for a guy like me living in the West. Like it wasn't a one day thing for me to become a Christian. It took time for me. The different challenges, spiritual battle that I have to go through, and that's what the people of Afghanistan and any other Muslim country are dealing with. Speaking of, you're saying about most of the village people. I think about Muhammad, because Muhammad was a villager too. These Bedouin people, and that's why we have a bunch of village people somehow overpowered and just took over the government back then and currently right now. And
You are
same
so
way
right.
with Iran also too. But thank God, I think people are now waking up to it. Thank God people are leaving out of there. We still got a long ways to go, but the more they expose themselves, they're just hurting themselves.
Let me add another point for your discussion because
Mhm.
you have lived in Afghanistan as a US Navy personnel, first-handedly seen all that, so you can correlate. Check this out.
One of the great kings and conquerors of the Muslims, much later on, you have Ahmed Shah Abdali and you have Mahmud al Ghaznavi and these people who conquered India. And when they conquered India, they took a lot of gold and statues and things, and every time they were offered to sell them. Yani the Hindus would say, sell them to us.
Yeah, sure.
And Alhamdulillah, they didn't. They broke them, but they didn't sell them. Because they said, we don't want to be remembered in history as the sellers of idols. We want to be remembered as those that broke the idols.
So now here is the thing. They were made of gold. Okay. So they broke them, took the gold out, but they did not sell them.
Yeah. Yeah, they robbed them. Come on, who's the kidding, man? India as a whole went through a lot, man. That's what it's just a center of conflict, just everything what they've been through, under the Mughal rule, the Persian rule, under the banner of Islam. I mean, my God, I'm pretty sure maybe my ancestry were all Hindu, but they all got dhimmied, by the Muslims, you know. So
Yeah, check this out now what the Taliban are doing.
Today, just like yesterday, all Taliban decisions must be in harmony with Islamic law. Whether it be stoning to death, decapitation, or mutilation of the hand, these are strong principles of Islam.
strong
They're
principle.
strong
Let's take
principles.
away the freedom.
So decapitation, mutilation of hands, or stoning to death. They should all be followed. Watch again, watch again. I want everyone to understand what Ibn Fuman is saying versus what Taliban are saying.
Today, just like yesterday, all Taliban decisions must be in harmony with Islamic law. Whether it be stoning to death, decapitation, or mutilation of the hand, these are strong principles of Islam. They're strong principles of Sharia, and we will never change them until Judgment Day.
Smiling about it too. Yeah, I want to decapitate them.
So,
Like, no conscience in them, little dirtbags. I'm the district governor. Look at me with my Punjabi.
so they will never change them. Uh,
Sure, just
my voice
bomb
is
them.
oh, okay, it's good. Okay, so they will never change them no matter what because it's written in the Islamic fiqh books. It's written in the Sunnah. It's written in the Sunnah that Muhammad did that. His first hand followers did that. Why would they change it? Why would they change? So the thing is, do you think Ibn Fuban, when he is saying that he want the rule of Allah to be applied on everyone, has any difference than what this guy as a Taliban is saying? No. Ibn Fuban is just saying it in a nicer way, wrapped
Yeah,
with sugar, because he is in between the people who are non-Muslims.
yeah,
This guy is saying in Afghanistan. So do you see the similarities? But
yeah.
you have
He's
to
doing the
see it.
Fahiyah version. He's doing the one what Muhammad said when you're in the minority, just act like you're all buddies. But once you have the upper hand, then you hear the side of the Taliban. They're the one with the upper hand. Then you see the true colors come out.
Exactly.
Mhm. Well,
So
I like the comparison you did, and I hope our agencies are watching this so they get a good
I hope
feeling
so.
of it.
I hope so. I hope so. Check this out now. Now check this out. Check what he says.
If your niyyah is for your qawm, for your people, and you're sincere, you're not worried about filling your own pockets, then Allah will give you that, but then you have nothing in the akhirah. But if your niyyah is for Allah, Allah will bring you the wealth. Allah will bring you the honor. Allah will bring you the glory. But Allah will save the best, the reward for the akhirah as well.
Yeah, sure.
So
No,
those that
check.
do it for money, you will see. I mean, somebody will go and put a lot of money in, and governments will give you money and you will take that money, but you will never find success.
This year, we were able to export our fruits to Pakistan, but usually we sell them in Kabul. The Taliban don't cause any problems. On the contrary, they even help out with my business. Here in the Taliban Emirate, you can travel by night or day. You can carry money without any worries. The danger lies mostly on the road to Pakistan. You know, the Taliban belong to this countryside. They know how to cultivate the land.
Each year, the Taliban collect 10% of the crops, a practice called ushar. It's an Islamic tax imposed on farmers, which the insurgents use to fund their activities.
It's a religious duty. I give between 27,000 and 30,000 Afghanis per year for Usher. It depends on the crops. If business is good, I pay more. If it's bad, I pay less.
30,000 Afghanis, that's 300 euros, a large sum in a country where half of the population lives under the poverty line.
So Allah will give reward if you are doing it for Allah. How does Allah give reward? Allah asked the Muslimin to get the money from the as an ushar money from the people who are doing this, raising the fruits and vegetables. Number one. Number two,
Yeah.
if you are in Darul Harab, you will get jizya, and if you are you're getting jizya, and if you're not getting jizya, you can get it from the people who are harvesting, and that is why you are paying 10%,
So it's
even
pretty
if you,
much, I was gonna say it's pretty much praying tithing, right? The Islamic tithing.
no, but the tithing is different. So tithing is on your will. Would you like to give it, or you don't like to give it? When you talk about ushar, you have to give it. There's a difference. Now, number one. Number two, you have to give it whether you can fill your stomach or not. So let's assume you have earned enough that you can eat food once a day.
Mm-hmm.
Still, you have to give it, irrespective whether you can whether you can eat 3 times a day or not. You have to give it. It is not about zakat. Zakat is
Zakat,
a
that's what I was looking
zakat
for.
is a particular fund that is 2.5% on the savings that you have done in the whole year. So it's not zakat, it's ushur. Ushur money is you have to give, number one. Number two, you it's not related to whether you have enough money to survive or not. You just have to do it. Zakat is on saving. See, that's a basic difference. So you see the early Roman taxes, it's something
Mm-hmm.
like that.
Oh, so it's kind of like their version of the federal tax or
But like
corporate
the
income
federal
tax.
tax is different. Once again, if in US, if you are in US, I don't know the different states having different, but I let's assume the poverty line is 30,000 US dollar per year. Assume I'm just giving an arbitrary example.
Yeah.
So if you are at the poverty level, means you earn $30,000 a year, you don't pay tax a bit.
Yeah.
And then above 30,000, you'll pay the lowest bracket for anything that is above 30,000.
Yeah.
But then again, when you talk about Usher, you have to give 10% whether you are below the poverty line or
Wow,
above
that's
the
messed
poverty
up.
line, right? So now that's how the Talibans are. Hey, we are giving you safe passage, give us 10%.
Yeah,
And that is why,
that's pretty much mafia money. That's how the mafia does it.
thank you. I don't have to say anything more. So now look back to what you were saying earlier, that you could see some people following you and you could see some people not following the Americans. And we have seen a lot of people in this video that I've shown, they don't follow American. They hate Americans. They hate them that they invaded the US. Sorry, they invaded their country, Afghanistan. And this is how they are being proclaimed as well, right?
Yeah, a lot of them does have that feeling. Especially when we're there for so long. Even for us, though, I'll tell you what, though, even we question a lot of things. Some of it is just out of our pay grade, you know. Only the higher ups, the elitist, know what's going on. God knows only, because the evil, the stuff that I hear, you know, just that, you know, pretty much war is a business, pretty much almost. It's almost like, okay, you leave out there, what they want to do, they want to reset it all over. Taliban's are back on it. Give it about a couple of years. You're gonna hear a lot of the locals, especially the women, going through the suffering. I'm like, who are these reporters talking? Is that BBC? I think at the bottom right it said it was a French news. I mean, what
Yes.
are the stupid questions they're asking them? Like, oh, you told the law. Well, you should know too, France, what you people are going through with all the Muslims that they brought over there, bringing their Sharia. And that's something that can never get away from, no matter what. It's just the evil religion, the religion itself, it has shooken a lot of the people, and they're all victims of it. You know, you could see, even you could just sense a lot of the people too. You know, like going back to the marriage part. I'm pretty sure the guy just thought about like, what the heck? You want to punish me because I brought 6 people in? You know, these are the little taste of freedom that where the little by little those discernment comes in. These are the kind of things that need to catch on to. It sounds good, you know. It's kind of like the Democrats selling things. Yeah, we'll give you all this nice free stuff. You know, just Sharia law. Yeah, we'll take care of the law. Yeah, why not? He stole something. Yeah, I'll chop his hand off. Why not? Why not?
Yeah, chopping the hand off is another thing, but uh, it's a long uh, topic in itself. But when you
Yeah,
talk about the
it is really
clinging
exaggerating.
and all, like there's a guy who actually said, "Thank you, NZ, for your super chat, brother." J Mac, for your super chat. The boss man said poor Afghans were clinging to the planes while it took off, like people clinging onto the trains from Pindi to Gujarat. Now,
Yeah,
boss man, the problem that I have been describing earlier, that there are 20% people who are living in the mainlands, who are living in the cities. They don't want Sharia. But when we talk about the 80% who are not living in the main cities, according to them, the people who are living in the main cities are not Muslims. They hate them. They despise them. They want Sharia. They want the implementation of the Islamic law. Even to this extent that I'm going to show you now. Check this out.
And he was a brave man, an intelligent man, and he saw that these people from Habasha had conquered their land and had violated their women, they had raped and plundered and taken
yeah,
their wealth and
sure.
enslaved their men. And he had a ghira, and he had this sense that this is wrong. And this is the people of ghira, and people.
You know, ghaira. Ghaira means ghairat. Ghairat means that when somebody do something with your female, a bad
Um,
touch, a bad eye, and you get frustrated and furious to hit him.
oh, you
That's
mean
ghaira.
fondling? Like someone that's fondling them?
Whoever fondles or does something, so you get raged out of it. So that's ghaira.
Okay.
And he had a ghira, and he had this sense that this is wrong. And this is the people of ghira, and people, that don't have ghira, then they don't care who rules over them. They just want to make their money. They just want to
What a
submit and be safe
hypocrite.
and be safe, quote unquote, and they don't care. But the people of ghira, they don't allow it. And amongst the Muslims as well, when we see the kafir enter the lands, the people of ghira, they will not stand for it. And they will continue to strive and struggle until they're free.
So
Hey,
if
man.
you have ghaira, you will do it until they are free, and you will strive and you will apply Islamic law. What is the Islamic law? Let's see how Taliban applied it.
The Taliban take pride in their supposedly egalitarian society, but women remain the first victims of their cruelty. Shortly before we arrived in the countryside of Herat, where we filmed part of this report, a young woman was publicly flogged by a Taliban judge. Her crime,
Yeah.
indecency. She had allegedly spoken on the phone with a boy.
Gee, I can't. I
If
can't
this
see
woman
this.
had been married, she would likely have been stoned to death.
These are all Mohammed-style villagers over there that are coming.
In Omar Khail, the district governor would have convicted her in the same way.
So this girl has supposedly spoken on phone with a boy, and
Wow.
she's unmarried. If she was married, she would have been stoned till death. Now, this is ghaira. This is ghaira. The Ibn Fuban that is talking about that if you have ghaira, you would apply the Islamic law.
Yeah,
So
you're not
this
allowed
is
to date. I know that feeling. Even here in America too. You know how many times we have to sneak away just to go talk to a girl or something? Even here in America for us. We know what it's like taking that freedom away, seeing how other people are happy just to communicate, even communicating. You know how many times one time my aunt told on my mom, I was coming from school because I was walking with a friend of mine, female friend, just getting off the bus. She went to go tell my mom, oh my God, I think he's messing around with her. I mean, the audacity, with how people are too, they like to gossip. So I know that feeling, of that. Now I want to
but
add what
brother
Ibn. I'm
but
sorry,
brother
go ahead,
that
brother.
no, please sorry, but brother, that's not the point over here. The point over here is, what if they do it and your mom will do this? Do you think your mom will do this?
Do what? Talking to,
But
well,
the
not
Taliban,
to,
right? She won't do that, right?
no.
Why?
Uh, well, their Islamic value. That's why she's not gonna go around just talk to anybody. Well, my mom just been with my dad. That's it. Even
No, no,
after
no,
my
no.
dad.
Brother, hold on. Sorry. I was not able to ask the question in a proper way. Assuming I'm giving you, okay, let me put the example on my own self.
Okay.
Let's just say my sister would talk to a boy on phone,
Okay.
on phone. Do you think my father or my mother would do this thing with my sister?
Spank them.
Not spank them. This is not spanking, brother. You have seen it is publicly displayed, and they were hitting her hard.
Um,
Now, the problem is a lot of Muslims who are coming from the Westerner and Islamic society combined, they would not implement pure Islamic Shara
exactly.
into their family. And that's why I say that when we talk about the people who are coming from the larger cities, the metropolitan cities, where Islam is a sissified Islam,
Yeah.
they would not do these kind of things. And they have
Oh
the
yeah.
loudest voice because they have the access to the internet, they have the access to the press, they have the access to everything else. So their voice is loud because when they speak, their voice reaches millions. On
Yeah.
the flip side, the 80% of the Muslimin in Pakistan, Afghanistan, and all these kind of countries
Or the
who are
villagers.
not literate, who are not coming from the major metropolitan cities, their voice is much louder, but they are not reaching millions, and they want the Sharia, they want the Islamic law, they want to subdue the woman, they want to have all these laws over there, and they like that. And they like that.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I'm trying to show to everyone, that you cannot look at some people who are stating anything on the internet without giving you the references. When we speak, we show what the Islamic scripture says. And when we look at these Talibans, they are implementing exactly what the Islamic scriptures are saying. So they are the best of the best Muslimin. Whether Muslim says, no, you are wrong, Adam, you are preaching a lie. Dude, then come. Do not tell me I'm preaching a lie. Come and show me what they are doing is non-Islamic. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yes, indeed. Yeah, you're absolutely right. I noticed that too. Like, not that I remember in Bangladesh too. Just like you go to the big city, Dhaka, you can see a lot that they're more lenient, more liberal. Um, where they don't practice there is the religion that much. But you go deep in the village, that's where my family came from. Everything's all about the Sharia. Um, living the ways of a humble life. I used to hear a lot too how they talk against a lot of the people from the city. How they're not being like real Muslims or stuff like that. So you hear that a lot too, even in our side of the world, in South Asia.
Exactly,
Muslims
brother.
in the West Coast. Taliban's are real Muslim. It's just a title. That's all it is. You could call it Al Qaeda. I said that earlier too this morning. You try to reach to a lot of my veterans. Don't fall for those titles. Islam is Islam. That's the only one banner they want is to Islamicize.
Exactly. Exactly. Now let's come to the your part of the thing. Now we have established the fact. And the
Hmm.
fact is, whether somebody believes it or not believes it, the fact is that Taliban is liked in the rural area of Afghanistan. Taliban is liked in the rural area of Pakistan as well, and I know that first-handedly. Even I worked with certain people who comes from the rural area, but they are educated now and they are working. They were working with me. They
Okay.
like Taliban. They were supportive of Taliban. They were even supportive of Osama bin Laden.
Yeah.
They were supportive of Osama bin Laden. They were saying he's right. Whatever he's doing the right thing. And they are not some Bedouin kind of people. They are
Yeah.
well educated master's degree holders. Now, coming to those people who are coming from, they have the strong. I actually had a discussion with one of them, and I told him, what is this? This is all BS, and like, why do we kill the kafir and all that? And he's like, isn't it better that you kill him rather than he will burn in hell forever? That was his answer,
That's the most stupidest answer ever.
right? Thank you. So you agree with me, and that's what I thought as well.
So you
But
said you rather kill him than to let them burn in hell forever?
yeah, because if you kill him, you kill him. Maybe he will recite Shahada before dying. Islam by force, man.
Yep. It's sadly too, even here in the West, you got the educated. They're the quiet ones. That's what they gotta be careful about that.
That's dude. Right now, if you were in front of me, I would have given you a kiss. The the people who are well educated as well, living among you, living right next door to you, you do not know what their belief is.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Let me tell
Because
you.
sorry,
Oh, I'm sorry. I feel like I was cutting you off. Go ahead, brother.
because they would say something different on your face and they would have something else in their heart.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Please
was
go ahead.
gonna add too. Like even me, in my first year in the military, I was still a Muslim. I was well aware what the teaching says. Like, people like us, it's like we become bipolar too. At one hand, you love the ways of our freedom. But at the same time, it's like you try to make a way in the sense that you want Sharia, you want to be there for your Muslim brother. I know well what the Quran says. I was going through that kind of internal battle in my first year, while I'm serving in uniform, But it's like the more I dived in, I still continue to just talk to a lot of the Christian brothers in the ship, and eventually I see how everything just came to pass. When I see history from the past, what we see today, we see that pattern that we're not being honest with ourselves. When I mean myself, talk about for me when I was a Muslim at the time, we're not being honest with ourselves what we have done, and why we see all this conflict still happening, you know, because there's more to, the politics will be politics on the other side, but just these individuals, who they are, that's why, that's why if they just took them out a long time ago, stop playing this little, like playing flag football. Oh, you gotta be safe. Oh, make sure they shoot you first, then you shoot them back. The whole rules of engagement also messed us up also too. Trust me, when they said we couldn't beat this war, we could have taken them out. Trust me, we could have taken them out. Just think all the politicians, all these idiotic Western leaders. And I really hope they wake up to this. I really do. If they still continue on, want to play this game, play the safe side, then I don't know what to say. But you're gonna lose a war like that. You keep playing it safe like that.
I hear you, buddy. I hear you. But
And
I hear you. But like that's the reality. And we cannot run away from the reality. And
absolutely,
now let's come back to your point. A lot of equipment is being remained in Afghanistan while the evacuation is happening because it's a sudden evacuation. Taliban was supposed to capture Kabul in 2 to 3 months, and they captured it in 3 days. Uh, the main president slash prime minister, whatever they call it in in Afghanistan,
yeah.
just ran away. He did not even resist it. You know
What?
why he did not even resist it? Because the local population was with Taliban. How can he resist?
Exactly.
So that's what I'm trying to tell you. So how can he just use the people of the Kabul to fight against Taliban? Why? Why can't he use them? Because these are the sissified people. These are the normal people who are sissified according to Islamic people, according to the Muslimin, because they don't want to fight. They are the people who does not follow Islam. They don't want to fight. They love their life. They love the life of other. They don't want to fight. They are not true Muslims. So that guy knew that my supporters are actually the people who will not stand up for me. So he ran away. He ran away. He knew that if he would fight, out of these, let's say 100,000 people, not even 100 might not stand. Or okay, let's say
Yeah.
out of these 100,000 people, maybe 100 will stand. Okay, 150, 200,000 will stand. But what the Taliban is bringing, they are bringing with them 10,000 people from the villages. So how can they stand? So he gave away Kabul to them. And this will be happening and will happen in every major city. Taliban will not have any resistance. Why? Because they are native. They are bringing the native people of the villages with them to fight. And these native people of the villages, they want to fight and die for Islam. And they want the Huris. But the people who are living in the major cities,
Yeah.
they are the ones who does not want to fight, who does not have the true Islam in their heart. They are westernized people. They love life. They don't want to kill. They don't want to kill or be killed. They want to live the life. So how can they stand? How can the people who love life can stand against the people who does not love life?
It's a big mess, man.
So 3 months. So what the US was thinking, that we will have 3 months because Taliban will not invade Kabul because Kabul has a big population of the people, and Taliban will be scared to come to Kabul because of the people. But they did not consider the fact that the people in the Kabul, they are half westernized. They don't want to fight.
Yeah, they've been alongside with us. That's why, they enjoy our moments, inside the compound and everything. So,
And Ibn Fuban was very clear on that part, that the people, the Muslims who are just sissified Muslims. I showed you the whole video.
yeah, indeed, brother. Gosh, I forgot, I lost train of thought what I was gonna say. I'm just so tired right now, and
I'm sorry, brother,
um,
but
but
like, what do you think about now before you leave? I know you have to go as well, and I will close soon. What do you think will happen with this equipment? This will go into the hands of Taliban. So what will happen?
I don't know. I don't think half the people can even use some of these equipments. They won't even know how to use it. But what I'm worried about, if China gets involved, China, you got what, Turkey want to get involved, whatever the type of equipment. I'm hoping they didn't leave anything sensitive or anything like that, so that way they don't use our technology or learn something from it. And I hope they won't do something. I'm pretty sure they won't. I know a lot of these vehicles, just but yeah. It's frustrating. Even for many Americans, all the money that's been spent. I don't know what the heck was buying. Honestly, maybe there's something that's out of my league. Whatever these elitists are thinking, and but it's to me it's just a big slap in the face, for a lot of our men that we lost, and to the families, that lost their sons or daughter, you know, trying to help the people where they want to do the right thing. Of course, I know it was be impossible thinking they got to bring democracy to everybody until they get to the root cause. My only final thing is at this moment now the leaders. I hope they listen to more ex-Muslims. For me as a veteran served, being out there, I already know what their mindset was. I saw this thing coming. The moment I saw how all the Taliban store, I'm like idiots, man. These people we trained, they used Takia on us. I'm pretty sure the same people that went back is now using against us. I was reading some posts too, some of my old buddies that we all served with. Some of them are still serving. They understand the emotion. It's emotional on all of us, man. It's just,
I
but
can
they don't understand. They think, they're being sentimental of the people that they came across. But they have to see the reality. You have to understand who you're coming against. Do not let the emotion um misjudge you of what the true intent is. That's why now more than ever, I told them, I sent a video. I don't know if they saw my video. I sent one to another group just for all our veterans. Just look at these verses in the Quran. Even if you're not a religious person, at this moment they are a different beast that you need to pay attention to if you want to continue living our way of life that we are. If you can't see the mess right now in Europe, we don't want that thing happening over here, spilling in our soil. But thank God for us with our Second Amendment. We know people when things will go down, hey, they won't hesitate to do what they have to do. But we'll definitely talk some more about this, brother. God will. I got work tomorrow, so God bless you all. Thank you, brother, for the invitation. Just
thank you so very much for
sharing.
coming in. And I know, the whole thing is that you have been there uh, first-handedly, and to know the things from you. It's just it's first-hand information. None of us have it. None of us have this kind of a first-hand information that you actually have, and you have seen the both side of the pictures. The side of the picture which uh, a lot of people are saying that they are not happy with Islam, with
Mhm.
Sharia, and the side of the picture that they are happy with Sharia. So I just wanted to show that you have to know what you are dealing with. But one thing that you actually stated was that they will not be able to use the equipment. Let me show you one video and it will cheer you up and will give you a nice sleep as well.
So,
Guys, when it comes to using the equipment, let's see how Taliban is using some of the equipment which has nothing to do with military, but they just found it in the compounds of Kabul. Look how they are using it.
oh look, it's our gym equipment. Oh my God. We're getting strong now. Yes.
So if they
Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Oh my God. Thank you, man. I can sleep
so
better.
so I was like that the whole topic was pretty intense and tough, and I thought like let me just put some something in the end.
They use their workout as a tablis. Inshallah. Inshallah. Give me one inshallah. Two inshallah.
I hope you liked it because like the whole situation is that when I looked at this video from TikTok and I was like, man, what? How are they using this equipment? Like they were just like, and the one that who was doing pull-ups, it was
Oh yeah.
crazy. It was just
I said, hey,
moving it
that's
all
Islam.
over.
That's Islam for you right there. You want the wonderful teaching of Islam and their lifestyle. There you go. Well, I
But
love you, brother. Thank you so much.
thanks for being here, brother. God bless you.
Amen. God bless you to all the viewers. Thank you all. God bless you. And I'll see you all soon. Take
Take
care,
care,
brother.
brother. God
Bye
bless you.
bye.
Bye bye. All right, guys. So yeah, that was the whole purpose of this video to show you the other side of the picture, which a lot of our Western media is not showing. They are not showing the picture where everyone is saying ISIS be back. Everyone is reject. Oh, sorry, not ISIS. Taliban is back. They are basically the same, but yet they have certain distinctive differences because of the madhab that they believe in. They believe in, they are both Islamic, but the madhab means the caste. You guys call it caste. Islamically, the madhab. They believe in a different madahib, different school of thought. They comes from different school of thought. So there are slight differences, very slight. Someday I'm going to discuss it, but that's a separate thing. But anyhow, Taliban. Taliban is back and people are afraid and people are running away, and you would see people jumping on the plane and they want to just run away. They don't want the Sharia. And yes, I agree. But at the same time, what is the percentage of these people? What is the percentage of these people who wants to run away? The media is capturing the people who wants to run away from that. They are not capturing the people who wants to have Sharia. And even if you look at it from the Western scholars that I have shown you, one of the guy, Ibn Fuban, and I can actually use any guy. I can use any guy's video. If a guy is giving a lecture in a university or in a masjid, in a mosque, about Islamic law and Islamic fundamentals or the Seerah of Muhammad, no matter what he says, you will see these snippets in it. You would see snippets of these things in it because they cannot deny it, because that's what the basic Islamic preaching is. The whole thing is that it will be wrappered, it will be sugar coated, versus what Taliban is saying is without sugar coating. That is the only difference. But they are actually saying the same thing. They want the Sharia, they want the Islamic law. The scholars want it, but they might want a very um, mellowed down version of Sharia. Now, Imagine once you have the mellowed down version of Sharia, you can notch it up every 10 years or every 5 years or every 2 years, depending on which kind of people you are living in. And once you have the majority, this will come in. And that's what I'm trying to show. If you understood it, that's good. If you did not understand it, I can't do much about it. But any any Muslim who would like to reject what I showed today, they are more than welcome to come up and prove me otherwise with the Islamic scripture. With the Islamic scripture. Come up, prove me wrong with the Islamic scripture. And by the way, like, share, and subscribe. And everyone is welcome to refute me if they have the evidences. Because what I show, everything today, I did not show you any hadith, I did not show you any Quran verse, I did not show you anything, because I wanted to show you what they are saying versus what the West is saying versus what is happening. I did not need to show you anything. But if you want to come up and say Taliban are wrong, they are not Islamic, okay, perfect. Come up, prove me wrong, because I have done multiple streams on this very topic of spread of Islam, of how the Islam spread and what the teaching of Islam is. You are more than welcome to come up and refute me. Uh, Cliff, Adam, you see that apostate prophet is thinking of starting a fundraiser to send all these westernized Muslim to Afghanistan. Oh my God, that is good. Send them, send them there. But apostate prophet will not be able to send them, so he'll enjoy the fundraiser. Anyhow, uh, they'll just bring the abrogated ayahs. That's why I say Quran, Hadith, and Sunnah, and Fiqh and Sharia. So if you combine all of them, they cannot give me the abrogated verses. So that's why I don't say do not go to the tafsir. I say go to the tafsir. Give me the interpretation of your early scholars, what they are saying. Anyhow, guys, I think that would be it. And if you guys like the video, share it, like it, hit the like button as well. If you have not subscribed it, subscribe to my channel and share it to everyone. Send it out on WhatsApp, send it out on Facebook, send it out wherever, whatever medium that you have followers, so that the people would know the true reality, so that the people who does not know it, they would know the true reality. Emmanuel Shahid is an ex-Muslim who found love in Christ and is following our Lord Jesus Christ. He has witnessed these things first-handedly. You have heard it from his own mouth. I have shown you what Ibn Fuban Farooq is saying. I've shown you what the Taliban are saying. Everything is there. No matter which lecture you pick up from them, they will give you these kind of snippets in that lecture. But we know the reality. As a Christian, we know the one who lives by the sword dies by the sword. That's the verdict that we have. That's how we live. And in the end, God bless you all. I could not see all of your messages. I apologize for anybody who I missed and did not show it, uh, but who love you all. And I am planning to make another stream where I will be just doing Q&As to know you guys even more, to answer your questions to the best of my abilities. And very soon I'm gonna do that. Until then, God bless you all. Yeshua Akbarul Azim.